Hello students, once again welcome in biology class, and in this video we are going to study about one more topic and which is very important, and the name of this topic is transcription in eukaryotes. As we have already done the transcription process and also transcription in prokaryotes. Now in this video we will study about the transcription process or the formation of RNA process in eukaryotes, which are the more developed organism in comparison to the prokaryotes. As we have also known that transcription process in prokaryotes and eukaryotes is different. In eukaryotes there are three RNA dependent RNA polymerase enzyme involved in the transcription process. On the other hand, in prokaryotes only single RNA dependent RNA polymerase enzyme is capable to perform the whole process. Another thing is important that except the common things, there are some different post-transcriptional processes are also there, like capping, tailing and splicing, and that's why this process is different from the process of transcription in prokaryotes. So this is the diagram of the transcription process in eukaryotes. The first diagram is the ultimate diagram for all the process: initiation, elongation and termination process. After the termination process, there are some different terms which are processes which are not present in the transcription of prokaryotes. So these are the different terms or different processes of transcription in eukaryotes which are only present in eukaryotes and are not present in prokaryotes. So this whole diagram comprising the initiation, elongation and termination. So the first step, which is similar to the transcription in prokaryotes, RNA polymerase binds to the promoter. Transcription is initiated by initiation factor. The similar as takes place in the case of prokaryotes. Here at the promoter region, RNA polymerase binds by the help of initiation factor, which is sigma factor, and initiation process begins. The second step, RNA polymerizes the elongation of RNA in a template dependent manner by the use of substrate which are ribonucleoside triphosphate. So in the second step, which is elongation, the ribonucleoside triphosphates are polymerized by the RNA polymerase enzyme, and this RNA chain begins to longer. The third step, as the RNA polymerase reaches to the termination region, this is the termination region, and as the RNA polymerase reaches this region, the termination takes place. The termination process takes place by the help of Rho factor. Polymerase enzyme binds at this region with Rho factor and the termination process takes place. And by the help of this termination process, the RNA which is formed, that is not the nascent RNA, that is not the complete developed RNA, it is this time this RNA is called hnRNA or heterogeneous nuclear RNA. So after the three processes, initiation, elongation and termination, the RNA formed, that is called hnRNA or heterogeneous RNA, because it is not the functional RNA. It has two types of nucleotide sequences it has. So two types of nucleotide sequences are there. One is called exons and other one are introns. So that hnRNA have two types of nucleotide sequences, exons and introns. Exons are the functional nucleotide sequences which are useful. On the other hand, introns are the non-functional or which the nucleotide sequences which are not useful. These introns should be removed from this chain. That's why it can become functional. So these hnRNA have these two types of nucleotide sequences, exons and introns. That's why this RNA, newly synthesized RNA, is called hnRNA. Now this hnRNA or heterogeneous nuclear RNA is also called primary transcripts. This is also called primary transcripts. So after the three processes which are common in prokaryotes and eukaryotes, the hnRNA or primary transcript is formed in the case of eukaryotes. This primary transcript is converted into functional mRNA. It needs to be changed into the functional mRNA, and it is converted by 3 post-transcriptional processes. So this hnRNA, which is the primary transcript, is converted into the functional RNA by the 3 post-transcriptional process, and those post-transcriptional processes are capping, tailing, and splicing. So this hnRNA, which have exon and introns, 2 types of nucleotide sequences, is converted into the functional mRNA by the 3 post-transcriptional processes as capping, tailing, and splicing. So I will explain you what is capping, tailing, and splicing, and what are the usefulness of these capping, tailing, and splicing. After these 3 processes, after going through these 3 processes, the primary transcript change into the functional mRNA, and in this way the transcription process completes in eukaryote, or in case of eukaryotes. Now I will explain you the capping, tailing, and splicing. These are the post-transcriptional process, 3 post-transcriptional processes: capping, tailing, and splicing. After passing through these processes, the hnRNA converted into the functional mRNA. So what are these three processes? Capping. Capping is what? As you can see that this end of this hnRNA, which is 5' end, the addition of a cap of MGP. These are the 3 post-transcriptional processes: capping, tailing, and splicing. After going through these 3 processes, the hnRNA, heterogeneous nuclear RNA, converted into the functional mRNA. So what are these processes? Capping is what? It is the addition of a cap of methyl guanosine triphosphate at 5' end. As you can see, at this 5' end of this hnRNA, a cap of MGPP, methyl guanosine triphosphate, is added. It is the cap which is formed by the methyl guanosine triphosphate nucleotide at this end, and this cap helps, or this cap protect this hnRNA from the degradation of strong nucleases enzyme. Strong nucleases enzymes are present in the nucleus where this process is going on. They can degrade or they can destroy this RNA. To protect these RNAs from that strong nucleases enzymes, this capping is done. So this cap is made up of methyl guanosine triphosphate and mean for the protection of this RNA from the degradation of strong nucleases enzyme. Also, this cap provides the binding site to the ribosomes at the time of translation. So this perform dual function. It protect this RNA from the degradation of nuclease enzyme and also provide the binding site to the ribosome. The another process is tailing. Tailing is done at the 3' end. As the capping is done at the 5' end, tailing is done at the 3' end. Tailing is what? It is the addition of a poly A tail having adenate residues at 3' end, and it is also called polydenylation. So tailing is also known as polydenylation, and it is also the addition of a poly A tail at the 3' end. Poly A tail is what? It is a tail which contains adenate residues. It contains adenate residues. So addition of adenate residues at the 3' end is called tailing or polydenylation. Its usefulness is what? It is done for the protection of this RNA at this end by the strong exonucleases enzyme. Exonucleases enzyme are also there which can degrade or destroy that end. So this poly A tail protect or provide protection against strong exonucleases The third post transcriptional process is splicing. And splicing is what? It is the removal of introns through the cutting and joining of exons by ligase enzyme. As we have already done that in hnRNA, the two types of nucleotide sequences are there: exons, which are the useful nucleotide sequences, and introns, which are the non-useful nucleotide sequence. So removal of these introns by cutting down and addition of these exons in a definite manner by the help of ligase enzyme is called splicing. So the removal of introns through cutting and joining of exon by ligase enzyme is called splicing. So as the hnRNA pass through these all three processes, like it is capping is done here, tailing is also done here, splicing is done here. Now the RNA or the functional RNA is formed, that is called functional mRNA. So in this way the transcription process completes in eukaryotes. So this is the last step. After going through capping, tailing and splicing, the hnRNA is converted into the functional mRNA. So in this way the transcription process completes in eukaryotes, and we have also learned that how this process is different in the transcription in prokaryotes. So I hope you understand this process, and I hope also that